Welcome to Unmuted Podcast with our amazing host and author, Recia Kabbah. In a noisy world, we cut through the chatter, amplifying important voices. Are you ready for raw, unscripted stories that shape our daily lives? Well, on Unmuted, we tackle tough topics, challenge the norms, and share untold stories. Each episode, we bring in thought leaders, influencers, and everyday heroes for genuine conversations. It's not just a podcast. It's a platform for real, raw, expressive conversations. Get ready for the emotions, laughters, and most of all, the truth. Unmuted is more than just a show. It's a movement. So join us as we break the silence to embrace the power of honest dialogue. Welcome to Unmuted, where conversations are real.
Welcome to Unmuted Podcast. I am your host, Recia Kabbah. On today's episode, I have actor and cosmetologist, my beautiful friend, Dionne Imani. Hey, baby, what's up, girl?
Hey, hon, what's going on?
I am good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Couldn't ask for better.
Okay, all right. So welcome on Unmuted Podcast. Thank you for accepting my invitation to be here. You could have been anywhere else, but you are here with me, so I appreciate you.
Of course.
Yeah. So how is your day today? How are you doing?
Whew. Today was a good day. I had a good day at work. I had a very annoying customer, but I handled the call well, and it just went on about what it was. But other than that, my day is good. It's hot outside.
Yes, it is super
Blowing.
hot. Yes, but okay, that's good. So, Miss Dionne, when I read your bio, you have done quite a few stuff. So we're just gonna get into it professionally. You went to a business, you did business, medical field, and all those stuff. You pursue all of those different range of career. So please tell us what inspired you to pursue such a diverse range of career paths, such as entertainment, cosmetology, business administration, and also the medical field. What inspired you to go through all those things?
Oh, okay. Trying to find myself. When I was a little girl, my mom always thought that it was a room for me somewhere in entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
So she had me in everything from dancing to ballet, from ballet to acting, from acting to music. She used to buy me all kinds of instruments. I've been in everything. Had so much I used to do as a kid. But other than that, I had a friend that I grew up with in elementary school, and he went right, and I went around the corner with the boys, and that just made my life turn left. So then I figured, oh, well, I'm gonna be a nurse. Oh, well, I'm gonna go and do some hair. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna cook, and I'm going to do all these things that I just taught myself just being in and out of. But other than that, going back to thinking about coming along the way, it just was like my mom thought I was going to be a photographer. I used to take my school lunch money and buy cameras every day. Until she found all the pictures of the same people that I was taking every day in my book bag. She would give me extra money. I would buy 2 cameras now, but nonetheless, I don't mean to jump around. It's like I got so much in my head.
No, it's fine.
About back then. But I just got into everything else. And I remember it was 2009. I was standing at my kitchen table and I said, Lord, what is my passion? Why people talk about I could do this without getting paid. I can do it without, I don't have to be woke. I could do it in my sleep and I could do this. I'm like, I need to know my passion because everything I do, I need to be paid. Whether it's $1, whether it's 1,000, I need to be paid.
Mm-hmm.
So I did thought the Lord was going to tell me cooking. Because I like to cook. Okay. And I like to see people enjoy my food. But that wasn't it. The same person that I told you that I grew up with, I ran back into. And at the same time, I was praying for a husband. So I thought that this guy was coming back into my life since I ran into him after so many years as my husband. But that wasn't it. God said, take me back to where you stopped. And I stopped back then. So he took me back to where I stopped. And the guy, he just happened to be a doorway to entertainment because it was just like the enemy threw in a monkey wrench, but I didn't stop there. And that's a whole nother podcast. But the enemy threw in the monkey wrench and I didn't stop. And as I kept on going, I met one actor to the next actor to the next actor. Then I started doing, what was I doing? I was doing promotions for this guy named Recia Kabbah out in Chicago. Okay. And I would go to his plays and different things like that. I would go with another gentleman to a lot of things that he did in Atlanta. And it just was like, I started from there and I was like, oh, wait a minute. Something started clicking. I said, wait, I'm going to write my own play. So I started going different places in New York, North Carolina, different places with, red carpet balls. And I started meeting more and more people. So then after that, I got complacent by sitting down in Philadelphia. So by me sitting down in Philadelphia, it took me 10 years. I got on a hamster wheel. Now, don't get me wrong, doing independent film in Philadelphia, I met some great people and I've learned some things, but it didn't get me nowhere. But going back to the story, I decided to say that, I can write my own play. I started writing again. And then once I started writing, I said, you know what? When I was a kid, I used to act. And something hit me. It's like something was like connected to my soul. I was like, whoa, that's it. That is it. And I just couldn't stop from there. It's in me. I can do it. I don't have to be paid. I could take $1. I could take $10,000. I can wake up in the middle of the sleep and think about a script. You give me a line, I will remember it in 2 minutes. That is it.
Okay. That's where your passion lies then. It comes natural for you. Yes. Sometimes we have to try different things in life, to find our purpose. And so, what's for you, the thing about it, like I tell people, when you love what you do, it doesn't matter. Like you said, it does not matter how much you get paid because you love doing it so much. You are passionate towards it. So you're just going to give it all your best. So, which is what you just said about your acting.
Now, let me just say this. Let me clear my throat. Now, there was a time that I wouldn't want to get paid. But my craft, as Hollywood say, you need to be paid.
Yes.
Now, it's okay. You can help a friend out here and there doing something. But that was then, this is now.
Right. Exactly. Yes. When you're doing something professionally, you should get paid for it because your time is, your time cannot just be wasted. So, but the fact that you did all of those things, all those different things, and you still find yourself to acting because that's what you're very passionate about, which is great. It's a lesson to people. Sometimes we're doing stuff just because of maybe the environment or because somebody is doing it or because somebody wants us to do it, but we don't really like it. And you go dragging to work or you just don't even want to show up because you don't like what you do. So it's important to find love in something that you do. Now, don't get me wrong. Not every job you're going to be passionate about and you have to pay the bills, right? So we have to do what we have to do. But finding something that you really love, added to whatever you have to do just to pay your bills is still fun. And so I understand where you're coming from. And so okay, that's good. All right, let's get here. So I talk about my mother and my father in my book Unmuted, which you know about. Um, when you get the chance to read my book, read it. You will
I
call
will.
me and be like, girl. So not having a mother, because you and myself talk a little bit about, your life and stuff like that, about your mother and father. So can you, not having your mother or a father, right now, sometimes it's difficult when we don't have our parents in our life. What has that experience been for you? Just not having, the parents around.
Well, I grew up without my father.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say that. There was times that he came and got me and took me out and different things like that. He pacified my mom with some money just to, think that was going to be it. But I grew up without my father. Now, what made it real difficult, because in the last 8 months or so before he passed, we was building a great relationship. And that killed me, because it was like, all I wanted was my real father. Don't get me wrong. God bless the man that my mom has chose as a stepdad. He was really great. I miss Sai. We had the same birthday. How can I not? But it was not my biological father. And the last 8 months of his life, it just, it just was hard when he died. Because that's all I ever wanted was my father. I always wanted to be daddy's little girl. He used to call me baby girl. Like, well, if I'm baby girl, then why am you not with baby girl? Okay.
Okay.
But my mother, whew, Jesus, let me get the tissues. That was my backbone. That was my best friend. My mother told me, I will never leave you. And she kept her promise. Even in her alcoholism, my mother never left me. Oh, to leave me to go party, with somebody, as far as one of her close friends or one of my close friends' mom, just so she can go have fun. She probably is with their mom. That's nothing. But to like go off and have a true disease and forget about her child, my mom never did that. I want to give a little story about that. So this is why I believe that I couldn't take care of myself until I was 39 years old. My mom had a bad experience during her alcoholism time. And she told the Lord, she had an out-of-body experience. If you put my body, my spirit back in my body, she told me she saw her spirit sitting up there in the hospital bed on the ceiling. She said she asked the Lord, if you put my spirit back in my body, let me raise my own child, I promise to stay away from the alcohol. He did it. She said, she told me, she said she told him, I want to be able to raise my child and do not take me off this earth until she's able to take care of herself. So 18, 21, 25, I don't care how much money I was making, how many jobs. My mom died when I was 39. So by her telling me that story, it told me I could not take care of myself until I was 39.
Oh wow. Okay. That's for me, I didn't have my mother there. So, but like you said, sometimes other people step into, fill in that gap, but it's still not the same. It is still not the same. As a little girl, when I was born, for the first 3 years, I was around my mother. At least that's what I can remember. That's what I was told. And so, and then I was sent away to live with my aunt, my sister, and I. And within those time, like 2 years period, my mother got seriously ill and she passed. So they brought us back for her funeral. But I was like 6, 7 years old, so I did not really understand much about that. All I know is that I remember crying because everybody was crying. As a little girl, you see everyone crying, you crying. Not even knowing I was crying because my mother was gone. I did not start realizing that I was a motherless child until probably around 10, 11 years old, when I started to see my friends or other kids with their own mother and father, and I'm like, okay, something different here. Where is my mother? Where is my father? To really get, the understanding of not having my mother and my father there. So, yeah, from that time on, I realized that, I was, from family, of course, I realized that my mother was no longer and she was gone, and I did not know who she was. So I remember every time I used to something piss me off or maybe somebody beat on me, I would be crying and screaming out her name. And everybody got so sick of that. Like, she always crying and calling her mom name. Little mom, come get me. And I used to pray to dream about my mom so I can remember those you know about her. If she appeared to me, then I can remember that face of her. And I always used to pray for that. It never happened. Maybe God knows why he doesn't want that happen, but it never did happen. And that's something I would just have to live with for the rest of my life. As a grown woman, I still wish I had my mother, because I had a great woman that raised me as her own child, and she fulfilled her promise to my mom, because that was my mother's dying wish, for her to take care of me as her own child. And I can say she fulfilled those promises, but it's never the same, like you said earlier. So when you said that, you like just woke something up in me. It's never the same having your biological, and for me not even experiencing her. It's like I don't know what it is to have a mother hug, or just my mother holding me and just loving on me, or I can just run to her and be like, this boy did this to me or that. I would never get that. So life is life, and I have to keep living. But I'm grateful for the people that raised me, and I'm here. Then I just have to be the mother I can for my own children, because I did not have that, and they don't have no grandmother or nothing like that. So, yeah. But if I keep talking, I'm gonna start to cry. So I don't want to do that.
Don't cry, because I don't want to cry either. But I must say this: if you will let me, I Ernestine. Ooh, that was somebody else that was like a mom. That was my mother's sister, her older sister. And she was somebody else that was like a mom. And I miss my Aunt Ernestine. I think about her a lot. I don't miss her like I miss my mom, because of course that was my aunt. But she was somebody that I could just do everything with. She was wild, I was wild, and we was fire together. She was my number one cheerleader from the start. I would always, as a kid, I would wait till the whole house get full of people, and I would go make up my face. It wasn't right, because I was a kid. I would put on wigs and shoes, their stuff, my mom and my aunt stuff, and I would go out in the living room, because I'm about to sing, honey. And my aunt used to take the hat off her husband's head and pass it around and say, "Give her a tip. Give her a tip."
That's cute.
But I miss my Aunt Ernestine. I got little things like a plate, a bowl. I got stuff from 3 years old that she had given me, and she just was like a humdinger. But yeah, I miss her too.
Okay. Yeah, we all have our stories, but we have to move on, in life. So, all right. So, can you share your experiences growing up in poverty? Because you did mention that to me. In your bio, growing up in poverty and overcoming trauma.
I can. I like to call it the trick of the enemy. My mother, when she first came to Philadelphia, she her and same aunt, they didn't live in the place called the projects, the hood per se. Well, let's just say the projects, because the hood and the projects could be two different things. But they kind of
Teach
like
me something today. I
they're
didn't
kind
know.
of like similar.
Okay.
However, my mom was living in Society Hill. Another aunt of mine, which was her other sister. Now these are blood sisters.
Mm-hmm.
Her husband helped build this place called Southwark Plaza, the bottom of South Philadelphia, and it was like for low income. And I guess my mom, since she was living in a high end place, she got tired of paying all that money.
Mm-hmm.
So one sister said, "Oh, you can come over here. You don't gotta pay all that money," and it sounded good. So when my mom did decide to move over there, one sister to the other sister moved over there, and they got into low income. And this is where my mom became, and this is where she actually fell deep into alcoholism. I didn't say she didn't drink before she got there. I said fell into alcoholism.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of things happened where I got some things I wanted. I didn't get everything I wanted. And at this time, my mom was still trying to hold on to faith and teach me how to be grateful for what I do have.
Mm-hmm.
I've had times where she had worked and times she didn't have worked. It was like I had to live in a building where I'm on the top floor, or the 24th floor. I only went to 25. I'm on the 24th floor where this building lights will shut out. The building will fill up with water and ice, and you have to go out. The elevators are stopped. You have to go. Now, mind you, I'm on a building 24 stories high.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta come down to the bottom floor, the ground level.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean, you had everything from murders to rape to everything that happened in that building. I saw some of these things, and some of these things as a kid I should not have seen. That made me grow up with what's that called, PTSD, whatever it is. I grew up as an adult with that because of the things I saw in this neighborhood. So it just was kind of rough. And I've seen as a kid men under table eating woo-wah, wah, wah, ha, ha, ha. It wasn't cereal, but you got a lot of milk around your mouth, sir.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. I sat around the table at 6 years old with my cousin. I love her dearly. I started calling her aunt because I gave her that much respect. I saw her and her friends snort coke. I'm 6. She about 21 at the time. I seen a lot. Seen a lot.
Okay. So, well, I don't know if it would be. I'm still going to ask you, like, how were you able to overcome those type of, trauma? Because those things can stay with you forever. Were you able to overcome them? Are you still trying to overcome them? Like,
I'm still working through it by the grace of God.
okay. Okay.
Sometimes we get into relationships, and sometimes it reflects. Sometimes it's not always about what the last boyfriend did. Sometimes it's reflecting from family trauma, neighborhood trauma, friends trauma, can reflect in all relationships. You are a product of your environment.
Mm-hmm. Say that
So
again.
just because you got over the boyfriend and you ain't no more hurting over him, but you still dealing with inner stuff because you still ain't get over what mama did, grandma did, uncle did, brother did, cousin did, your homegirl did. You ain't got over none of that. So you still dealing with some internal things because you still dealing with some other traumas from other people,
Exactly.
including yourself.
Mm-hmm. So just to add to that, so with that being said, how has your faith and relationship with God play a role in your healing and finding strength throughout your life challenges.
Reciting his word, believing that there is God for one, and believing what my Bible says, and knowing that Jesus died for everything. Let me say this. Can I go and say this? Everybody like to say they're blessed. Everybody want to say, oh, my family blessed, we blessed, and we blessed. But if you really sit down and you write out everything that goes on in your family, match it up with what blessed is, and you'll see if you're blessed. Because I can tell you, my family was living under a curse. You had drug addicts, you had alcoholism, you had people getting married but divorced, you got people dying early of age, you got diseases, ungodly heart diseases, cancer, diabetes. Those things are not considerably blessed. But let me tell you something. God said that if I can pass down blessings generations after generations after generations, if you be obedient, don't ignore the fact that he didn't say that he will curse your family if you're not obedient. And because God is a man that cannot lie, he can't take back his word because you're walking upright. No, you're in that family where your ancestors or whomever was disobedient. So he has to still allow that word to go forth. You may experience this curse or the things under it because of the fact that he's a man that cannot lie. He cannot go against his own word. But what he promised is he'll be there with you through the storm. And because Jesus has died for all this, once you experience what you experience and you walk outrightly, stand upright before God, now it's your turn to be obedient. Because people say, oh, I got this because my mom was like this. Oh, this is how my family is. No, you're walking out something. You don't have to be like that because your family is like that.
Amen. Amen. Speak.
So this is what keep generational curses going on. Oh, shoot. My dad, he was an alcoholic. That's why we all drink. You don't have to.
You don't have to. Say that again, sis.
You just like your father. He gambled, you gambled. No, you don't have to do that. You don't have to sell drugs because all of your uncles sold drugs. You don't have to. You got your own life to live. What are your own beliefs? Do you believe you got to be like that?
I could not agree with you more.
So, I just start from where I'm at now.
Yeah. It feels like you and I had a conversation, but we did not. Because what you just said, I always tell people that, and that's why I'm on this journey of self, recovery and finding myself and just owning, creating my own story, because we all have the choice to do that. And to just piggyback off yours, what you just said, which is so true. People will use the least excuses just to be nothing, or just to be nobody, or just to make that self feel like, yeah, I'm doing the right thing. And you cannot walk another person's walk and claim that to be yours, because we are all different. Your mother did what she did. Your father did what he did. Your siblings are doing what they are doing. You don't have to be like nobody. You can choose your own path. You can build your own journey, and you can follow your own heart. And speaking of generational curse, that's how the generational curse continues in a family. Yes. Because nobody wants to be strong enough to break that curse. It doesn't just come and just claim you. You have to claim it. You have to be okay with it. Why should I be okay that my whole family is poor? No, that's not something I have to continue. It takes one person to want to break that, and other people coming after you can look at the change and maybe be inspired to also do better. We cannot copy from what other people did, especially when they are wrong. Now,
Right.
if it is positive, yes, of course. My mother was a nurse, so I want to be a nurse. That's perfect. Okay. But my mother was a drunk. That's why I'm a drunk. Just picking back off of what you're saying. Those are lame excuses. And so I can't express this any more than I have on the show, because I was talking about it, because we have to build our own. What is your story? What do you want to be remembered as when you are no longer? Oh, what are you what are you going to set for your children to look at? Because the children will be inspired, and be like, okay, my mother or my father is doing this thing, they are doing something positive. If they choose to be a drunk, that's on them. But it's not on me, because I ain't laying around here smoking, drinking, going to the strip club, running around crazy and doing crazy stuff. So if you choose to do that, that's on you. But I'm hoping that people can pick up on the positive than the negative. But it's easier to pick on the negativity than the positive, because that's just how human being is. That we're gonna take the easy road out and give all those lame excuses and stuff, which is not necessary. So I just had to throw in my 2 cents.
That's okay. It's okay, with meditating and praying and that's one thing. If my mom ain't never taught me about nothing, I'm glad she taught me about Jesus.
And that's the best. That's the best one she taught you.
Yeah, I'm glad she taught me about Jesus. She taught me a lot of good things that I see them now.
Yeah.
I see them now. And it's hard to say that I can't tell her, oh, I remember when you said this, you are so right. But I had we use this saying, as for a time such as this. Those things now is for a time such as this.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I am sure your mother is proud of you, because you are doing what you're supposed to do, and you love God. Every time I talk to you, you mention God. And so she left you with one good thing, which is loving God, teaching you, how to love God, and always trust in God and putting your trust in God. So you are doing good. I'm sure your mother is proud of you, and you just have to continue doing so. And I too can say, Dad, I'm sure my mother is watching over me and be like, this child, even though she wasn't around, but some things I do definitely like her, because my aunt always try to remind me. She like, you talk like your mother, you just behave like her, and those things bring me peace, and they bring me sadness too at the same time, because I'm like, damn, why did I not experience that on my own? But at least somebody is still telling me, you doing this like her, or you look like her, or whatever it is. So I love someone that I don't even know, because it's just natural,
It's
right?
that's your umbilical cord. That's
Yeah,
your
yeah,
life.
yes. And
Bio is life. Is you just can't. I don't know. Like I said, everybody grieves different. Everybody has different experience when it comes to their parents, but it's the same when they're no longer there.
yeah, yeah. Somebody said, how can you miss something that you never had?
Oh, you can when it comes to your parents.
I often ask myself that, like, how can I miss not having a mother that I really never had? So, but this is internal. Like you said,
Right,
we are
right,
connected,
right.
so you can still miss that, because that's your mother. There is nothing, when they tell you there is nothing greater than your mother, there is no one that can replace your mother. I don't care how far you run, your mother is your mother. And
And
that
this
is
is
so true.
what I had to come into this year, 2024. I came into peace with that. That nothing and no one not can replace her, but I can't even attach myself to anything or anybody that would even be in a place for her.
Yeah.
So I had to come into myself with peace with that, because I found myself attaching myself to different things to try to still have a piece of her, different people to have a piece of her. But I was only just keeping the wound more open.
Open, yes. Okay, so let's move on, because we are both someone gonna cry. We're gonna get sad. So, and I don't want that. So let's move on to something more exciting. It's not like exciting, but it's exciting at the same time, because right now we are both single. I would like to think. I don't know.
Yeah, I've been single for 5 years. So.
Oh, girl, you ain't got. This is unmuted, so she's gonna lay it on the table. She's been single for 5 years.
Oh Lord, oh Lord.
I have been single just maybe a year. Well, I maybe going on 2 a year and a half or something, because I've been divorced almost a year now. But it still feel a little fresh for me. And so being single for 5 years, I'm sure you have been out there dating.
Nope, I haven't. Nope. I had one guy that I called myself talking to. He was supposed to be a preacher, but that was a wolf exploding. Oh Lord. And I'm glad it only lasted about 2 weeks. Goodbye. But it was a pandemic. My ex moved out my house June 6, 2019. And I went on by myself, and people think, move on. You need to move on, just because they don't see you with nobody. You don't have to have another person to move on. Your best bet is to move on with yourself and God.
Amen.
That's move on to, because just because somebody gets somebody else don't actually mean they moved on. They just moved the hell over.
That part.
So it doesn't always mean that because you get somebody else. And I'm the type of person that I like to heal. And because I have gotten with this young man, Lord, I used to love that man.
Oh Lord Jesus.
I used to love that man. He was a $2 Kevin Hart, but I used to love that man.
And man, the blush on your face. Where is he? I have to find this man.
He's married now.
Oh Lord. All right, let's move on.
Wait, I used to love him. He wasn't right for me.
Okay.
But he was who I needed. See, the enemy thought that he was going to bring him to sift me as.
Oh, we are having some problems. All right, guys, we are just going to hold on and see if she can join us back. Hopefully she can join in again, because this is a live show. There's nothing I can do but to talk to you guys. So you want to join in with some questions, I am here for you. In the meantime, I'm waiting on her to come back on. This is unmuted. I mean, anything can go wrong. All right. So, yeah. Dion, where are you? So yes. Listen, this is our 15th episode, and I am so blessed, so grateful that we have come to where we are today, because there is more coming in the future. And she just came back on. I'm gonna put her on stage. What was that?
Oh no, the devil won't win with this today. Because I get to that part, he want to hang up the phone.
He want to hang up.
Like I said,
he don't want you talking about him. He don't want you talking about him.
No, but let me tell you something. Let me say this. It's who I needed.
Yeah.
Because it could have been a worse person. This young man was just slicking at his words and smooth as butter. And I was at a very, very vulnerable time in my life. And I tried to, again, place him in a place as my best friend where my mom was. So, like I said, the enemy brought him to sift me as wheat, but God used him to strengthen me. So also you got to be careful what you pray for, because you just might get it, but not how you want to get it. I remember wanting to marry this man, and I asked the Lord, "Oh Lord, take the sexual sin out of our life. Take it out of our life, Lord, Lord, take it out of our life."
You gotta love her.
He did. He took it right out of our lives. He took him and put him with another woman and let him marry and made me celibate. Ain't that taking sexual sin out of both people's lives?
Oh.
Okay. Well, anyway, that's how I looked at it in the positive light. But I remember the female that he married, she came to my house. It was just a mess. She came to my house.
We want to hear it.
She came to my house and she said, "How can I help you get through this? You mean to tell me you backed your truck up and helped my man move out my house and you gonna ask me how I can get through this?" At that time, I wanted to knock her head through my kitchen cabinet. But as time went on and I began to heal, I said, she did help me. She took away fornication. She took away cigarette smoking. She took away agony. She took away me being broke all the time from taking care of him. She took away excessive drinking. She took away a lot of the things that I did not need. So, miss, thank you. I still owe her a coffee card, double espresso.
Not the coffee card.
The coffee card, double espresso. So thank you. I do not know if she in these past 5 years was a blessing to him, but she darn sure was a blessing to me. Thank you, darling. Thank you, darling. Thank you.
Is that her name?
No, that's not her name.
Oh.
But thank you.
I know you ain't over here calling nobody's name.
Thank you, darling. Thank you, darling.
I'm muted.
Thank you, darling. I like to say thank you, darling. I'll lay out the red carpet for you. You did me a favor. Thank you, darling.
Okay, I like that. Happy ending. I like that. So, what are some of your thoughts on dating, or just trusting, or getting back into a relationship? Where are you with that? And just trying to pick a little bit, because I'm out here. I'm
It's like I right now my mind is focused on work. See a nice little handsome face, but that ain't all you got to have for me. And you can't say a word to me. And please, and this might sound crazy, but you can't come to me talking about Jesus. Why I say that? Because the Lord let me know, you know them by the fruit that they bear. The enemy uses God's word to get what he wants.
Amen.
I done been through a couple of those relationships. They use God because they know that's what I love. So they used God. So you got to show me that you a man of God. You got to walk uprightly. You got to show me. You just can't say, oh, Jesus is this and Jesus is good. And he died on the cross. Okay, but you show me he died on the cross. You show me how you walk that you believe that. Because you just can't get me just by mentioning that no more. Because he said, you'll learn them by the fruit that they bear. You'll know them.
Yes. So show me. But
show
me can be very tricky. For me now, it's kind of tricky. So before I used to say the same thing. Don't tell me, show me. For my last experience, I wasn't just told, I was also shown.
But let me say this. Can I say this? You were also showed just like I was showed. But we also see the wrong or red flags. My ex showed me the American flag. It wasn't red. It was red, white,
American flag.
It was red, white, and blue. But I kept on going. So sometimes the signs are already there. It's just that we push them to the side and we tend to believe what we want to believe. We want to believe the good in people when it's already shown. As Maya Angelou said, when a person show you who they are, believe them. People keep it right there, but she said the first time. People leave that first time out. When people show you who they are the first time, believe them.
Yes. And I can definitely say the sounds was there, but like you just said, we ignore the sounds because we want what we want. And especially when someone is checking all those boxes without you even saying a thing. Because as women, sometimes we lay out the things that we are interested in, the things that we want, the type of husband we want, the type of things we want, and the man may just do all those things because that's what we presented to him. And if he really wants that relationship for whatever reason, he's gonna do them. But for me, from my previous experiences, I wasn't telling any guy, my specific, I just let it flow because I want to get to see your authentic self. But in this case, a lot was said, but everything that was said was also being followed by the actions, and no woman on this earth who has said no to that. I don't think so, because even though I felt um those little unease in my stomach telling me something is wrong, but at that time, the good things I thought, the things that was good were way too overpowering. And, and I just went with that. And I felt like I was trusting God, but that was God telling me.
That was God telling you.
That was God telling me, hold on, this is not it. But you know what I realized, Dion, as I grow more in, as my faith grow more in God, sometimes we are hard-headed, and it's just like your parents tell you don't do this, don't do this. At some point, if you don't listen, they're gonna let you do it just to learn from your mistakes. So I feel like sometimes God will allow us to go through certain things because we have not given it all to him. We have not trusted him, because maybe he's moving slow for us and we want it running, we just want it today. We want it, we want this happy life. We want this husband. We want this, unique family. And so we don't wait on him, with him, giving us those signs. I definitely did not take everything and just put it in his hand, be like, you know what, let me wait. So he allowed me to go through that, situation, but I don't know. It could be two things. Either he allowed me to go through it just to learn, or that particular situation was part of my story, because he write, he's writing all of our story, right? And
who's writing whose story?
God is.
God ain't writing our story. God finished. He already got done. He know the beginning and the end.
He know the beginning and the end. So he already wrote your story.
Right. It is right.
Yeah, now right. Okay. Yeah. So he already read our story. So there is no way around it. What it is what it is. So I feel that what I went through, I used to ask God, like, God, why me? Like, why did you let me go through what I went through after seeing what I've been through and all that stuff? And at some point, I just stopped asking God, because I saw that my story was unique and it's for me. And, I have learned a lot from my past, and I'm still learning as I go on. As human beings, we are learning every day. If we knew, okay, we just lost her again, guys. And hopefully she will come back on as I continue to tell you my story. So I have learned from my mistakes. And who say I'm not going to make those mistakes again? Because I'm a human, right? We will keep making mistakes until the end. But we have to learn from our mistakes and be better and do better. And so, yeah, like I was saying earlier, this is our 15th episode. For some reason, she's having some technical issues. Hopefully she can join us again. And so just bear with us a little bit. We will be right with you. She will be on pretty soon. I think she's trying to get on, so just give us a little bit chance. She is coming on now. There she comes. There she comes.
I think it's
So
overheat. I think the phone is overheating. I don't know what's going on with this, and I don't have the app on the other phone. So
yeah, we'll be done soon. So that just long story short, I have learned from some of those things with relationship, but I'm just trying to rebuild myself and redefine myself and learn about myself more. Try not to make the same mistakes. I say try because we are human. We will make mistakes, and just
I
go with my heart and be more obedient to God and listen to Him more, because when you are connected with Him more, you can understand Him more, you can feel Him more. And so that's where I'm at. But in terms of dating, if you were to give anybody an advice, I'm not sure, but if you were to give anybody advice who, any female or even men that just having some hard time in dating, from some of your experiences, what would you say to that
a
person?
hard time in dating.
Yeah,
I would
like
tell people,
trusting
I would
somebody or
tell,
just.
I would tell people
Mhm.
to get to know who they are first. And even if they do know who they are, getting out of one thing, heal from that.
Yeah.
Go and be by yourself for a while. Some people are afraid of being alone.
Mhm.
I mastered that.
Hey,
Um,
girl,
and,
tell
and
me about it.
and that's a whole nother podcast, because being alone out of relationship and being alone just by yourself walking the face of the earth is a total
Girl,
different.
we got time. Like being loving yourself is very important.
Yes. So
Okay,
yes,
self
loving
love.
yourself,
When you learn to be by yourself is very important. Yeah.
finding out who you are, going deep into um, learning God, because and just be silent. A lot of answers are in the silence. Sometimes you have to quiet out everything: the TV, the phone, the kids, the animals, the birds. Sometimes you have to just quiet out everything, and in silence you will find a lot of answers.
So okay, so self love, which is very important. Um, when you can love yourself and experience love without anybody else, that's the best thing, because before you can start giving your love to other people or trusting other people to make you happy, you can't find happiness within somebody else. You have to
No,
first find that happiness within yourself. And so plus that, good. But if you don't have that, you are still good. You should not depend on somebody else making you happy.
well,
And
I like to say something between happy about being happy.
mhm,
Happy is just the outer experience.
mhm,
That's not even an inner experience.
mhm,
Happiness is about whatever is going on around you.
mhm, mhm.
Joy comes from within.
From within, yeah.
So you can you can have joy without having anything happening. But happiness is what's predicated about what's going on around you.
Mhm.
Joy is what's come within.
Okay.
That's the feeling that makes you feel like you're happy, but you're
Yeah,
joy.
that joy within, yeah.
This joy that I have, the world didn't give it,
No one can
the
take that
world
from
can't
you.
take it away.
No one can take that away from you. So that's it. Yeah. Joy, self-love, all of those things. And do you sometimes feel like, because you have learned to really be alone by yourself and just being Dion, Dion, loving on Dion, just being in tune with yourself, do you think that having a relationship, someone to be in your space, will be harder just because you have been able to be alone for so long?
Um, no. It would be an adjustment. It's just like anything. When you get in your car
Mhm.
and someone else was there, and then you got back in and someone else was there, and you trying to adjust the seat, the mirror, you got to get used to the adjustment.
Mhm.
That's it. But no, it won't be.
It will be an easy adjustment, or
No, it won't be an easy adjustment because you got to get adjusted. You know,
yeah,
you're going to have to get adjusted.
yeah, because having another person in your space again, yeah,
Yeah, that will take some time.
because
Because
relationship, okay, now you have to report, not reports per se, but like you have another person now, so you have to,
well, let me just say this. Let me just say this.
Mhm.
I never had a girlfriend spirit. I always had a wife mentality. So I was always ready to be a wife and not just a girlfriend. I was always ready. And that's the thing. I gotta have a man that's willing to have, that wants to have a wife, that wants a wife, and not just wants a wife. You get what I'm trying to say? Ready to be a husband and don't just want a wife, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because some people just want the benefit of it, but they
Yeah.
don't really see it. So
Okay. So with that, you can adjust well because they are there to stay. But playing around. So for me, being alone, I have done that for a while. Even before I got married, I was single. Yes, I dated people, but not like living with somebody. And so making that adjustment over and over, bringing other people in your space. And then, of course, if relationship don't work out, then so be it. So for me right now, I'm in a place right now where, like I said earlier, I'm just working on me right now. I'm loving on me right now.
yeah,
And, you know, finding that inner peace that you're talking about, right? Um, and also trusting again, because whew,
that can be hard.
it can be hard, trusting again, to trust another whole person, bringing them in my life again, bringing them around my children again, bringing them in my family again. Just because people don't realize when you come into a person's life, it's not just that person, it is everybody else
Well,
around
in my case, it is you got me, Jesus, and the cats.
Oh my God. Well, but those cats are important.
But
She said just her and the cats. So the adjustment. I think I'm more so afraid of starting something again and then for it not to work out. But how can I live in such a fear, right? How can I live in that fear where I don't even want to get into a relationship because I'm already thinking maybe it's not going to work out? Which is a better place to be. And like I said, I'm still working on me. I'm finding help, and I'm not ashamed to say it, but that's some of my problems right now. And I have a good legit reason for that, because if you read my book Unmuted, you will understand why she's being unmuted, because I was muted for so long from things that happened to me in my lifetime. And so I want to move on from those things, but in order to move on from them, this is part of my healing process. I have to heal, and I have to trust again. I have to love again. I have to live again. And but nothing wrong with me being transparent with where I'm at, because that's where I'm at, and
yeah,
that's where it is. So what can you tell me?
one day at a time.
Yeah, one day at a time.
But as far as dating, one thing I know that the Lord has showed me, this was just December, that I need to get back to my femininity. And it was something that happened with a young guy. Oh, Lord.
Oh my God.
I'm a
I love
cougar.
those blushes when you talk about the guys.
I'm a cougar him. He don't even see it coming. But no. It's just something that had took place, and I kind of like was talking to a cousin about it, and it just went left. But through that, it had to happen that way because God showed me some things about me when I looked in the mirror. So it's a walk from the time of losing my mom, going through that relationship, coming through a pandemic, not having no one, siblings don't get along. It was a lot. It was a lot. So, you know, God give what they say the biggest battles to his strongest
soldiers.
But I like to say strongest warriors.
Stronger what?
Warriors.
Warriors. Okay.
So.
Okay. All right. It was great having you today. We touched on some things. Is there anything else you would like to tell our viewers that we haven't touched on?
No, I just going to continue writing. I got some things I'm writing, some things I'm can say, some things I can't say, but I'm just going to continue writing, and that's just it for today. I don't want to talk too much about me. I didn't talk too much about me throughout the years. Now it's time for them to just see it when they see it.
Yeah, and that's fair. That's fair, especially when you have stuff in the works. It's still cooking. You know, Unmuted is always here. If you want to come back, this is home. It is a safe space. Actually, you should feel very, very proud of yourself because you are my last for season 1.
Right.
This is my last episode for season 1. So 50 seasons today, and I'm so grateful. But I am cooking up something to have a recap show, and I sure will invite you back if you want to come back just for our recap show, which is bringing different guests that has been on the show to touch base on their experiences beyond the show. And also we have some questions from viewers that listen in before, and I have all those emails or messages, inbox messages to ask the guest that was here. And so that would be a whole episode by itself. I would say that would be the 16th episode, but it's just like a icing on the cake. But today is my last episode for season 1, and I'm grateful. And season 2 will be up in July because I'm taking a break and working on me.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, and I'm grateful to have you, and you share your story. We have so much in common, same type of experiences from mother to dating and all those things. So thank you for being here, and I see you always support the show. You always watching the show. So I'm like, let me bring her on. We have to do this. She got some stuff to talk, and we're going to talk about it. So thank you so much, my sister, for being here.
We can talk about sex. We can get raw. We can get real raw. But today was just like a little.
Yeah, raw. This is why it's called Unmuted. Is raw and it's unscripted. You saw the headlines. It's raw and unscripted. So you wanted to go deep, you could have went deep. You want to go deep, I can give you
I'm trying to be a good girl now.
A good girl and being transparent. Good girl and transparent. Nothing wrong with going raw. Listen, this is
until I get my pole and start dancing on my pole.
Well, I will definitely bring you back if you are available for the recap show, because it's going to be fabulous with me. We're going to talk a lot about what you said, the S word, and we're going to talk about men, and the men will be on to talk about their own experience. So it's going to be a fire show. I am sure it's going to be fire because it's going to be 2 different gender, and I think we're going to be bumping heads because the men's side and the female side. And then at the end of the day, we can jump together and just give each other a heavy hug. So, Miss Dion, thank you so much for being here. And Dion is on Facebook as Dionne Imani. That's her Facebook page. She's an actor, actress, however you want to call it, because I'll be like, okay, actor, actress, whatever. But she's doing phenomenal things. So follow her if you want to see her up and coming projects. Because she's working, like she said, she's working, but she's not going to tell you right now. So maybe season 2. She's gonna come on and tell us because she's cooking now. So when the food is done, she's gonna come back season 2. So season 2, I'm hoping season 2 will be up and running by July. If not July, August for sure. Because I need some life. I need to go out there and live my life. So I'm gonna take at least 3 months, May, June, July, and just find myself. I think I'm lost right now. I'm gonna find myself. But until next time, follow our page Unmuted Podcast on Facebook. We are also on Instagram. Let's Get Unmuted Podcast. YouTube. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Let's Get Unmuted, and so that you don't miss any new things coming up. Keep up with us because we would love to hear from you. If you are interested in joining the show and you have a story to share, hit us up, info@unmuted.us, and we will get back to you. And you can find yourself on our next episodes, which is season 2. Okay, my sister, thank you so much for being here again.
Thank you.
You go on and enjoy the rest of your day, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
All right, guys. What a show. She just had me cracking up. I love that woman. So next time she said she's gonna go raw. Because she's trying to be a good girl. This show here is about family, it's about friends, it's about anyone who's going through something. If you are experiencing anything you would like to discuss, anything you would like to talk about, you have a story you would like to tell, the platform is for every and anyone. Send us, like I said earlier, send us an email, info@unmuted.org, info@unmuted.us. I'm sorry, not that or .us. info@unmuted.us, or you can hit me on Facebook, Unmuted Podcast, or Recia Kabbah. That is my personal Facebook page. Instagram, Let's Get Unmuted Podcast. YouTube, Let's Get Unmuted Podcast. Until next time, before I leave you guys, I like to leave you with something, which is let kindness be a superpower. Always love on somebody. Allow someone to love on you. I love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. Linda, thank you for watching. Thank you, everyone. Until next time, see you. Bye, y'all.